Hello everybody! If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 514, The Case of the Missing Painting. Intermediate. Richard Harris was a famous detective in London. He had solved many difficult cases in his career, but this one was special. It was about a missing painting from the National Gallery, one of the most important museums in London. The painting was called The Lady in Blue, a masterpiece by the famous British artist Thomas Wilson from the 19th century. It was worth millions of pounds. The painting disappeared on Tuesday night, and the museum director called Richard immediately. When Richard arrived at the museum on Wednesday morning, he found police officers everywhere. The museum was closed to visitors. The director, Mrs. Elizabeth Baker, was waiting for him at the entrance. "Thank you for coming so quickly, Mr. Harris," she said, looking very worried. "This is a disaster. The Lady in Blue is one of our most valuable paintings." "Don't worry, Mrs. Baker. I'll do my best to find it," Richard promised. "Please tell me everything you know." Mrs. Baker explained that the security alarm didn't go off during the night. The security cameras showed nothing unusual. The guards saw nothing strange. It was as if the painting had simply vanished into thin air. "Who was working here yesterday?" Richard asked. "We had our regular staff," said Mrs. Baker. 4 security guards, 3 cleaners, and 2 maintenance workers, and of course I was here too. Richard nodded. "I'll need to speak to all of them." Richard spent the entire day interviewing the museum staff. Everyone seemed shocked about the theft. No one had seen anything unusual. The security system was excellent, with cameras covering almost every corner of the museum. How did the thief manage to take the painting without being seen? That evening, Richard went back to his office to think. He made notes about everything he had learned. Something wasn't right. There was a missing piece in the puzzle. The next morning, Richard returned to the museum. He asked to see the security footage again. He watched the videos carefully, hour after hour. Suddenly, he noticed something interesting. At 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday, just before closing time, a maintenance worker was fixing a light near the Lady in Blue. The worker was alone in that room for about 10 minutes. Richard asked Mrs. Baker about this maintenance worker. "That's John Parker," she said. "He's been working here for 6 months. He's very reliable." "Has anyone checked the maintenance room?" Richard asked. Mrs. Baker looked surprised. "No, I don't think so. Why?" Richard didn't answer. He quickly walked to the maintenance room in the basement of the museum. Mrs. Baker followed him. The room was full of tools, ladders, and other equipment. Richard looked around carefully. Then he saw something behind a large cabinet. It was wrapped in cloth. Carefully, Richard pulled it out. It was the Lady in Blue. "I don't understand," said Mrs. Baker. "Why would John hide it here?" "I don't think John was planning to steal it," said Richard. "I think he was paid to help someone else. The real thief probably planned to come back later, perhaps during the night, to take the painting away." Later that day, the police arrested John Parker. Under questioning, John admitted that a wealthy art collector had paid him £50,000 to help steal the painting. The plan was for John to hide the painting in the maintenance room and then leave a side door unlocked. The collector would enter the museum at night to take the painting. Thanks to Richard's careful observation, the Lady in Blue was safely returned to its place in the gallery. The art collector was also arrested the next day. As Richard left the museum, Mrs. Baker thanked him warmly. "How did you know to check the maintenance room?" she asked. Richard smiled. "In my experience, the simplest explanation is often the correct one. No alarm went off because the painting never left the building, and the maintenance room was the perfect hiding place. No security cameras there." "Well, we're very grateful," said Mrs. Baker. "Will you come to our special exhibition next month? We're displaying some recently discovered works by Thomas Wilson." "I wouldn't miss it," said Richard, "but hopefully my visit will be purely for pleasure next time, not for work." Vocabulary notes. Masterpiece. Definition. an outstanding work of art or creation that represents the greatest achievement of an artist. Example, the painting was called The Lady in Blue, a masterpiece by the famous British artist Thomas Wilson from the 19th century. Similar words, magnum opus, chef d'oeuvre, classic, gem, treasure. Example sentence, the Mona Lisa is considered Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece that attracts millions of visitors each year. Vanished definition, disappeared suddenly and completely, often in a mysterious way. Example, it was as if the painting had simply vanished into thin air. Similar words, disappeared, evaporated, faded away, melted away, dissolved. Example sentence, after the magician waved his hand, the rabbit vanished from the hat. Reliable definition, consistently good in quality or performance, dependable. Example, that's John Parker, she said. He's been working here for 6 months. He's very reliable. Similar words, dependable, trustworthy, consistent, steady, responsible. Example sentence, Sarah is a reliable friend who always keeps her promises. Footage definition, film or video recording of a particular event or subject. Example, he asked to see the security footage again. He watched the videos carefully, hour after hour. Similar words, recording, video, film, clip, tape. Example sentence, the police examined the CCTV footage to identify the suspect. Observation definition, the action or process of carefully watching or monitoring something or someone. Example, thanks to Richard's careful observation, the Lady in Blue was safely returned to its place in the gallery. Similar words, scrutiny, examination, inspection, monitoring, surveillance. Example sentence, scientists make detailed observations of animal behavior in their natural habitat. Maintenance definition, the process of preserving a condition or situation or the state of being preserved, upkeep of buildings, equipment, etc. Example, 4 security guards, 3 cleaners and 2 maintenance workers, and of course I was here too. Similar words, upkeep, repair, servicing, preservation, conservation. Example sentence, regular maintenance of your car can prevent serious problems in the future. Disaster definition, a sudden event that causes great damage or loss. Example, this is a disaster. The Lady in Blue is one of our most valuable paintings. Similar words, catastrophe, calamity, tragedy, misfortune, crisis. Example sentence, the earthquake was a disaster that affected thousands of people in the region. Puzzle definition, a problem or question that requires thought, skill or cleverness to solve or answer. Example, something wasn't right. There was a missing piece in this puzzle. Similar words, mystery, enigma, riddle, conundrum, problem. Example sentence, the detective studied all the clues to solve the puzzle of who committed the murder. Story written by Claude 3.7 Sonnet AI. Image created by Stable Diffusion XL 1.0 AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.
Hello, this is Steve. If you enjoyed the story, please would you take the time to leave a meaningful comment and click on the like icon. If you want to know when the next story has been uploaded, please click on the notify bell icon to be notified. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tell your English learning friends so they can benefit too. Thank you.